Marcia, aka Madeline here. I'm going to do a bit of a longer for Instagram update. I've been working on did a podcast episode where I put it in capital letters, the document. And it's like the one going with the petition with the 1,451 signatures, but like none of that's going to have an impact if they don't have some background. Because like the last email I got from the Ministry of Health was saying like, oh well, a diagnostic code under chronic fatigue syndrome is more than enough. Blah blah blah. Well, first of all, chronic fatigue syndrome is a biased psychosomatized name for myalgic encephalomyelitis, and that started in the 70s. And so you don't know what you don't know there. And then they went on to say like, well, we rely on physicians for information. And I'm thinking like the 2% that actually know anything about my disease, because I don't think you're talking to them, and I don't think you know it's only 2%. So there's that. So I'm having to sort of rebut that and to give them correct information, and then to have any impact, I have to talk about bias. Disability bias is unconscious, and it says things like, well, disabled people don't know what they're talking about. If they knew what they were talking about, then they wouldn't be disabled. And that's always fun. And then the other one is like, well, if they just tried harder, they wouldn't be disabled. Oh, they're slackers. Oh, they're just trying to cheat the system. This is literally in policy and in the legislation of the I can't think of the word, Human Rights Tribunal and the Supreme Court here in Canada. Not overtly, but why can't I do a human rights case on what's happening to me? Why do all of disability lack of supports or disease lack of supports, even if it's on gender, which is specifically in the Human Rights Tribunal, why are all of those cases kicked and called political? This is the fruit of that, poisonous tree. And sorry, I'm shaking my scooter, and so I'm shaking you. I don't have my little handheld. I sort of decided to do this off the cuff. And one of the reasons I did is that between like having to work on the document with dyslexic brain and being so sick to begin with, and having the downstairs ductwork make me sicker. And last night it was particularly bad. For the last week, they seem to be forgetting regularly to close the door for hours, and they like to cook for half the day. Quite, I want to say malodorous. Maybe it smells nice downstairs, but by the time it works its way through all the garbage in the walls, what I'm getting is horrific. And last night they were frying onions, and it was like someone was frying onions in my bed, because it comes up around my bed, which is like next to the bathroom, and it seems to be the bathroom ductwork that's the culprit. And that was fun. And I just thought, like, do I try to go downstairs and knock at 11:45 at night? I mean, they're cooking at 11:45 at night. But I was also so salty. I just don't want to go blow up. I mean, I don't want to have bad relations with my neighbors. They didn't break the ductwork. I mean, it is super inconsiderate because they know it's a problem, but they had been good for a while with it. So I don't know if they're forgetting or they don't care, or they just want to get their smells out of their apartment, and that it's venting into mine be damned. I don't know. So the problem is that went on like full force. Like I even opened up the balcony door and the windows and turned on the kitchen and bathroom fans, which made my apartment too hot for me with the dysautonomia. I cannot self-regulate temperature. And then like it's sort of lowered a little bit. I don't know if they closed the bathroom door. By about 2:30, it was low enough that I could get to sleep. But it's like I'm so angry about being in this position of life and death, of running out of money in July. I hope the end of July. I'm not certain, but I'm hoping the end of July. I'm ending up having to buy more stuff that I was hoping to. I was waiting for Amazon Prime Days for a bunch of stuff, but the bad air situation has made my bed smell like a teenage boy's gym bag. And the topper is one of the worst. I even put it into one of those big plastic moving bags, and it's still making all my bedding smell like garbage, literal like dumpster garbage. So I think I just need to throw it away and have a new one And the whole process of wrestling with the ministry to get a new bed will be a problem all into itself. Or what's the point of doing that if it's just going to get stinky again because I haven't had the ductwork sorted? So what I did in the whole the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, costs in one ministry slam into another ministry at dramatically higher expense, is they sat down and did a loose calculation of how much money that BC Housing, because my building is BC Housing, which is under the Ministry of Housing, keeping in mind that it doesn't matter who would be living in an apartment, who would own the apartment, you would have to fix that. It's torture and it would make anybody sick, because that's not good. There's a reason ductwork has been made to vent out of out of apartments. And when they got the oh god, it was so pathetic. When they got the clean air tester to come in, which I never asked for, and it's not going to tell you anything, especially if they're not frying something. So of course that was useless. But yeah, it would make anybody sick. So long and the short of it is, I'd say maybe $1,000 at the very beginning, probably way less to get that ductwork fixed. I'm guessing it's a bunch of mouse shoes and the tape that holds it together, because that's all you would need to have this. In the same way that if you poked a hole in like a vacuum hose, it would like pull to the machine, because that's been BC Housing. Oh, it's going to the roof. Doesn't matter. If there's a hole, it will shoot out the side. Just like if you put a hole in a vacuum cord. And that's the first kind of clue that my manager, but then he's like, well, write something up and I'll give it to the property portfolio manager. And I thought, the property portfolio manager who bullied me during a suite inspection and who keeps sending like companies who don't actually deal with ductwork in, and who I had to go to a what is it called, residential tenancy board hearing, and he still hasn't adhered to the spirit of the adjudication, which was to scope the ductwork. He scoped it before it was clean, so you can't see anything when it's covered with like a centimeter of dust. Come on, buy a vowel. Anyway, so I'm waiting until I can get my apartment and suite inspection ready, because some of my requests to get this fixed have precipitated retaliatory suite inspections, and this property portfolio manager is like done monthly inspections until he found something and then evicted people. Like very, very sketch behavior on this guy's. And they removed the complaints division at BC Housing, so that's interesting. Apparently we're supposed to go to the ombudsman now, which is another mountain I don't have me to, like, I need it fixed yesterday, but I don't know. Anyway, on the plus side, a friend of mine, Kolya, had set up a GoFundMe just to get my housekeeping back to sort of set point, because I still don't have housekeeping support, so it keeps falling apart on me. And he likes to make up things, like, he's like, oh, well, this is like a fire risk. I'm like, really? Because the fire inspector who was here, and I have less stuff even after that, said it was fine. And he just makes up shit. Like right now we're not supposed to have doormats because, like, part of the fire code is it could be a tripping hazard. I literally had fire inspectors walk over my doormat and say nothing. So yeah, anyway, disability bias. Well, I don't even know. I think it's disability prejudice. I can't even call it bias, like gender bias, gender misogyny, maybe. I don't know. I've never seen the like in a BC Housing employee. This is not how they fly normally. I don't know why this has been allowed to continue, because God knows I put enough complaints in about him. They know about it. So anyway, let's roll back. So $1,000 to fix the ductwork, maybe, probably way less. It's $20,000 and counting in the Ministry of Health costs because of it. Something that legally they have to fix. You have to have like peaceful enjoyment of your apartment, and that's definitely what the adjudicator said. And I have not had that for, I'll be 2 years in August, this coming August. So, and it's harder in the summer because I can't self-regulate temperature and I really need the aircon to work. So I don't know what to do. At least it's going to be cool for the next week or so, which hopefully, will allow me to keep the balcony door open and the windows open, which reduces its impact. But I really hope they just start remembering to close the bathroom door. Stop torturing me. Speaking of torture, this whole, sorry, can you, there we go. Oh, no, I did it again. There we go. My screen timed out. Okay, what else is going on? The GoFundMe for my, like, the deep clean, the cleaner who I have had come twice is brilliant. Wore a mask, even COVID tested. Turns out they had asymptomatic COVID, so that put off the first cleaning for a bit. And both cleanings were very like accessible, friendly, like the purging of the kitchen, because I get so forgetful and then I don't know what's in there and then I'm too tired to look for it and then I buy because I don't think I have it anymore. And that was an exercise in frustration. And they sat down next to me and when I was getting really mad at myself and they said, you are disabled. This is because you've never had housekeeping. You don't have help. You know, this is not some moral failing. And it just made me feel so much better. But yeah, I think I can do things I can't do. You know, this document is taking up all of my energy. I keep wanting to try to tackle, you know, there's an area in my living room that needs to be reorganized, and I've got about 2 or 3 garbage bags full of stuff I just need to go through, but I don't have the cognitive power to do that. I really need another brain to help. And that was a big part of getting the kitchen purged and organized and organized. Oh my God, I can find stuff. And what they're going to do next time they come is make me a map. Because when the brain fog is really bad, I can't remember. It just can't. It's just gone. It's like that whole drunken librarian wandering around a decrepit library trying to find stuff. The data's in my brain. I just can't find it. My brain's too tired. So I'm hoping with this document, if I can get somebody to give it another look, if this version is okay, I'm hoping to send it Monday. I was hoping to send it Wednesday, but that didn't happen. And I keep just working so far outside my energy envelope because I just need it done. And the reason I'm doing this outside right now is like I don't want to go home if the stink is going to be bad. I just don't have it in me. So that goes back to what I had started to try to talk about, which is like the torture of it all. You know, I I have been really suffering with loneliness lately. It's been really hard, the isolation factor, but I've been so sick, especially working on the document, um, that even phone calls cost me so much energy. Um, and then, like today, I felt so poorly. I had a medical appointment in the morning that took way longer than I thought it would. The good one, it's something we need to get done, but and then I went and got my hyperbaric, which is the only reason I'm doing this right now because I was so sick before I went in the chamber. Um, but when I was that measure of sick before the chamber, it starts me. I could feel the edges of despair, which I compartmentalize the rest of the time. I could feel it grab a hold and try to pull me in, and that's not good. Um, so it's my general feeling about everything right now. I just want to win the lottery and move the hell out of this. And it's such a drag because, like, and this is what I wrote in the letter. Like, if the Ministry of Housing had always been liaising with the Ministry of Health, then BC Housing is an opportunity to see the housekeeping needs, to make sure that people like myself don't end up in situations where, like, a basic repair and maintenance thing, like the ductwork venting into my floor and my walls from downstairs, like this would be seen as an opportunity to save Ministry of Health money, to keep people off ICUs, to keep them off the street when they lose their apartments, you know, because of tenancy issues due to housekeeping, to keep them out of care homes, which costs a fortune, you know. Like, there's no housekeeping in social development and poverty reduction ministry. There's only go into a care home, which with my immune deficiency would be like, bye-bye, Marcia, like really fast. Um, I just, so, I mean, this letter is my magical TED talk. It's also my Hail Mary. If it doesn't do it, I don't know what I do. because, with the whole tariffs and stuff, the GoFundMe hasn't been moving massively. We've had some amazing donators, which has been like a shock and a blessing and amazing. And I don't update the status as much as I like yesterday. I did it, yeah, I guess today's Thursday. I did it yesterday, and I don't know if it made any sense at all. Um, but I just thought, oh God, it's been a month, you know? So, so everything is energy I don't have. Everything is more than I have. Sorry, I keep wiggling here. Yeah. So I thought I would try to say it. I mean, as with the podcast, I want to document what's going on. I do mostly with the brain's going to work any month. It's easier for me to do it without the visual, at least Instagram, it's a little, YouTube I find particularly hard because I really need the lighting to be all perfect and everything. And I mean, I know the lighting isn't perfect here right now, but at least it's cool enough for me to be outside. So like that's more energy I don't have. This whole begging for my life on the internet, it's one of the many, many compartments I put stuff in, like pain and terror, and all my compartments are full, and I'm very worried about that. I am. I'm going to be doing some volunteer thing tomorrow morning. My volunteer is back, and we're going to make some flowers for Flower Power. But I don't have energy for that. But emotionally, I cannot afford not to do something that is first like social. I really like my volunteer, and second, purpose driven. I can actually accomplish stuff like the Folk Fest volunteering I do. I mean, definitely purpose driven. I've been doing that for over 30 years. To feel connected with an organization that really cares and hears me and works to make things better is amazing. A little teeny tiny nonprofit that could, So, but I don't have energy for that. I don't even know if I'll have the energy to enjoy the festival, which is bad because I love it. So that will do my head in. Hopefully the weather will be cooler. Well, other people might not want that, but I would like that. So I don't know. So, I mean, I try to keep focusing on the positive, but it's hard. Like spending like $100 on replacing this topper because the mattress is the secondhand one that a friend got me during COVID when the other one failed. It doesn't function without a topper. It's not doing great with the topper, but it has a large scoop in it right now because it was old to begin with. But that's not money I wanted to spend. And then I had to get more of the odor absorbers because, again, they have not been closing their bathroom door for a week, and I needed to get some anyway. But I wasn't planning on spending that much. It's hard to find ones I'm not allergic to. This is a fragrance-free one I can tolerate, and it actually takes the odor out of the air, which is good. So that's all. Like this, like even just putting in, I need to put in a delivery grocery order. I don't have brain power for that. All of this makes me sicker, and I need to focus the textual stuff on the document, but I also need to save money with Prime Days and with the grocery order, which I put into Superstore because I got a deal on the delivery. So, like, some of this, not a lot of it, some of it's just the daily, like, humaning kind of things, but I'm too sick for that. That's kind of so, I mean, the hyperbaric chamber could be making me better, but to keep hemorrhaging the energy it cobbles together into just like life stuff. Like I noticed we got about our balcony, suddenly had me having to do that out of nowhere. Again, problematic BC housing property portfolio manager. I have a friend who's a building manager, and he's horrified by the current management of my building. He's like, in a public, in a privately owned building, or definitely in a strata, they would be fired instantly. That kind of behavior is not okay. So yeah, it's fun being threatened by the PPM. The notices. He threatened to evict people in one of the notices. Like, you know, all those people will die if you do that. That's how that works with low income persons with disabilities and seniors, because it's not rocket science. So it's fun to be threatened with ultimately death, which is why I can't put in that next notice to get the ductwork dealt with until my apartment's in order, because then I get a new kind of torture from this guy. Arr. All right, I'm almost done here. Thank you so much. The GoFundMe is in the bio, as is the podcast and the YouTube. I hope you're hanging in there. I'm going to do my best to keep fighting.